Rick at Tasty Guitar. Well, since I started my channel back in 2016, this is probably the most requested lesson that I haven't done yet, taking me nearly 6 years to get around to it, getting good funk rhythm tone. Now, of course, I'm not saying that this is the only way of getting good funk rhythm tone. This is what works for me, and if you like my sound, check it out and might give you some insight. If you enjoyed this lesson, please like, share, and subscribe, and check the description below for information about membership. Let's get started. Alright guys, so first let's break down the gear that I'm using in this demonstration today. Now since I picked up this amp about a year ago, I've been using the Magnatone Varsity Reverb on pretty much every video on the channel. This is a killer amp. I mean, it sounds great both live and in the studio. 15 watts, Class A, all tube, it's killer. Now if you need a ton of clean headroom, a low wattage tube amp like this might not be your best choice, but for what I do, it's perfect and I love it at pretty much any volume. Now I'm running straight into the amp, and if I were doing a video or a gig where I only needed that one tone, kind of a clean funk rhythm tone, that's exactly what I would do. Now here's the place where I think a lot of people get sidetracked when trying to dial in a tone like this, is just trying to add too many effects. If anything, I want a little bit of reverb. If I'm not using the spring reverb on this amp, I might add a little bit from the Strymon Flint reverb pedal, but that's really it. I'm not adding really anything else. No compression, no chorus, no wah, nothing. I'm trying to keep it pure tone. Now since I'm condo living and can't be blasting out my neighbors, I run into this 2 Notes Torpedo Captor X cabinet simulator, and the cabinet we're using today is the Celestion G12M Greenback 412 cabinet simulator. And the guitar that I'm using today is my Russell Fong Custom. Russell makes these beautiful instruments by hand in California. These are a set of Joe Barden Danny Gatton pickups. And pretty much anytime I'm trying to get a really nice funk rhythm, I'm in position 4 here. So for you Strat guys, that's all the way forward, back 1. All right, so assuming you got a good sounding guitar, you got a good sounding amp, and you're not swimming in effects, it's really dead simple to dial up a good clean funk tone at this point. Now I'm usually going for one of 2 sounds, either completely clean or something with a little bit of breakup. If I'm going for the completely clean sound, I'm going to take my volume all the way down to nothing, bring it up slowly while I play just, a couple open strings until it starts to break up a little bit. Right up there, about 11 o'clock. And then if I want that completely clean sound, I'm going to bring it back probably a couple notches to 9 o'clock here. Find that sweet spot where it's still very clean. Now, as far as the tone controls, this is just 2 controls on this amp, treble and bass. Okay, and I usually set them pretty much middle of the road. I just bring the bass control up until I get a little bit of fullness without sounding flubby. For this amp, it's usually right there about 11 o'clock. And the same with the treble. I don't want it too bright. I want some clarity, but I don't want the shrill sound. That's too much. Usually I would have it on this amp probably also right around there at about 12 noon. All right, so let's go ahead and see what this sounds like. Pretty clean. See what a little bit more treble will sound like here. Nice, and at this point I would put probably a little bit of reverb, not much. And let's see how this sits in the mix. Alright guys, the other tone which I use quite a bit for funk rhythm is bringing the amp up to a slight breakup point. Probably about right there. That's just going to let that kind of scratch stuff really cut through the mix. Alright, and one more really important thing to mention here is if you do have a mid-range control in your amp, don't scoop out those mids because that's where a lot of those frequencies lie.